When people think about Apple, their minds immediately go to the iPhone, the MacBook, or the iPad. These are the stars of the show. They are the products that dominate headlines, create hype before every event, and often define the future of consumer technology. But in the middle of all this noise, one product often goes unnoticed. A product that has quietly become an essential part of millions of homes around the world. That product is the Apple TV 4K. For years, the Apple TV 4K has existed in the background. It doesn't get flashy commercials on prime time. It doesn't have massive launch events like the iPhone. And yet, if you look carefully, you will realize that this small black box sits at the heart of entertainment systems in many households. It is reliable. It is powerful. And for those who are already inside Apple's ecosystem, it is the glue that brings everything together. Now, after a long gap, Apple is preparing to release a brand new version of the Apple TV 4K in 2025. And this time, Apple seems determined to make it more than just a luxury accessory. This could be the moment when Apple TV 4K finally goes mainstream. This could be the year when Apple stops treating the Apple TV as a side project and instead pushes it as a serious product in its own right. So, what exactly is coming in 2025? To answer that, we need to break down every piece of information available. The design. The performance. The gaming capabilities. The smart home functions. And of course, the price. By the time you reach the end of this section, you will see why the Apple TV 4K 2025 may be one of the most important, and most underestimated, products Apple has ever made. Why Apple TV still matters in 2025. Let's start with a simple question. Why does Apple even bother with the Apple TV? In 2025, streaming devices are everywhere. Amazon sells the Fire TV Stick 4K Max for under $40. Roku has multiple options that cost less than a dinner out. Google offers the Chromecast with Google TV at a price that feels almost impossible to beat. In comparison, the Apple TV 4K often sells for more than $100. On paper, it looks overpriced. On paper, it looks unnecessary. But here's the truth. The Apple TV is not just another streaming stick. It is not trying to compete in the race to the bottom. Instead, it represents something Apple values deeply: ecosystem integration. Think about it. If you buy a Fire Stick, you get Amazon's apps and services. If you buy a Chromecast, you are signing up for Google's vision of entertainment. Apple, on the other hand, wants you to stay inside its world. The Apple TV is not just for watching Netflix or Disney+. It is for Apple TV Plus exclusives. It is for Apple Arcade games. It is for Fitness Plus workouts where your Apple Watch connects directly to your television screen. It is for AirPlay, where you cast photos, videos, or music from your iPhone or iPad instantly. This is why people still pay more for the Apple TV. It is not just a streaming device. It is an extension of the Apple experience. It is a central hub that ties together your phone, your tablet, your computer, and even your smart home devices. And now, in 2025, Apple seems ready to make this hub more powerful than ever. The design, familiar, yet purposeful. One of the first questions people ask is whether the Apple TV 4K will look different. After all, design changes are often the most visible upgrades. But according to all the information available, the answer is simple: no. The 2025 Apple TV 4K will look almost identical to the current model. It will still be a small matte black box with rounded edges. It will still have minimal branding. It will still be designed to quietly sit under your TV or behind it, barely noticed. At first, this may feel disappointing. But here's the reality. When was the last time you cared what your streaming box looked like? Most people don't. These devices are meant to disappear into the background. Apple has already made the Apple TV slimmer in recent years, so there is little value in redesigning it again. The real magic is not in the outside. It is in the inside. And that is exactly where Apple is focusing its energy. Performance upgrades, from streaming box to gaming machine. The current Apple TV 4K is powered by the A15 Bionic chip. That is already far more powerful than anything found in competing devices. In fact, it is so powerful that for basic streaming tasks, it feels like overkill. Videos load instantly. Apps switch without lag. Animations are smooth. But in 2025, Apple may be preparing to go even further. Rumors suggest that the new Apple TV could use the A17 Pro chip. This is the same chip found in the iPhone 15 Pro. This is the chip that introduced console-level gaming features like hardware-accelerated ray tracing. This is the chip that allowed massive games like Resident Evil 4 Remake and Death Stranding to run on a smartphone. Now imagine those games on your big-screen TV, powered by a silent, fanless Apple TV box. Suddenly, this isn't just a streaming device anymore. Suddenly, Apple is creating a mini gaming console that competes not just with Amazon or Roku, but potentially with PlayStation and Xbox. Of course, there is still debate here. Some people argue that Apple may instead use the A16 or even a cost-efficient A18 entry-level chip. After all, if Apple truly wants to hit a price of $99, they will need to balance performance and affordability. But no matter which chip they choose, one thing is certain: the 2025 Apple TV will be faster, smoother, and more future-proof than ever before. Gaming potential: can Apple TV compete with consoles? Now we come to one of the most fascinating aspects of the new Apple TV. Gaming. Historically, the Apple TV has never been seen as a serious gaming device. It has been used for casual games, maybe some family fun, but nothing close to console-level experiences. But Apple is changing its strategy. Across the ecosystem, Apple has been investing heavily in gaming. Apple Arcade continues to grow with new titles. More importantly, Apple has started partnering with developers to bring AAA games to the iPhone and iPad. The A17 Pro chip has already shown that it is capable of running massive, graphically intense games. So why not bring those same experiences to the living room? Why not position the Apple TV as a casual console? Think about it. Not every family wants to spend $500 on a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Not every player wants to commit to buying expensive games or managing complex hardware. An Apple TV with console-level performance could sit right in the middle. Affordable. Silent. Easy to use. And fully integrated with Apple's ecosystem. This could be a turning point. If Apple plays its cards right, the Apple TV could become more than a niche device. It could become a new category altogether. Wireless and connectivity: the future is here. Another major upgrade expected in the 2025 model is wireless performance. Leaks suggest Apple will introduce a custom wireless chip, codenamed Proxima. This chip could support Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7. The benefits are obvious: faster speeds, lower latency, and more stable connections. For streaming, this means smooth 4K HDR content without buffering. For gaming, it means less lag, even if you are playing online. For smart homes, it means more reliable control of devices spread across your house. Bluetooth is also expected to improve, with support for Bluetooth 5.3. This will make it easier to connect multiple accessories at once, whether it's AirPods, controllers, or sensors. And since the Apple TV already acts as a HomeKit hub with Thread and Matter support, this new version will make your entire smart home more responsive. In other words, while the box may look the same on the outside, its ability to connect and control your digital life is about to become much stronger. The price: the biggest surprise. Now we reach what may be the most shocking part of all. The price. For years, One of the biggest complaints about the Apple TV has been its cost. At $129 and above, it was far more expensive than any competitor. This kept it from going mainstream. It was seen as a luxury for Apple fans, not a must-have device for the average consumer. But in 2025, everything might change. Multiple reports suggest that Apple is preparing to lower the price of the Apple TV 4K to under $100. Possibly even $99. For Apple, this is a huge move. It signals that they are finally ready to compete directly with Amazon, Roku, and Google in the streaming wars. This lower price could transform the Apple TV from a niche accessory into a mainstream product. It could turn it into the obvious choice for anyone already using an iPhone or iPad. And once people buy it for streaming, Apple gains the opportunity to pull them deeper into its services, Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Fitness Plus, and more. This is not just about selling hardware. It is about expanding the Apple ecosystem to every living room.